on this rainy Sunday afternoon, PBA fans from all over fell in line for hours just to catch a glimpse of game number 2. This is the finals of the Fiesta Cup, where the San Miguel Beermen look to get even with the Alaska Aces, getting ready for their showdown. Jay Washington, Don Ontiveros taking on Tim Cone, Joe Devance, and the rest of the Alaska Aces, who are looking to bury the Beermen. What a ball game we are going to have here on hand. The San Miguel Beermen take on the Alaska Aces. Game number 2 of the Fiesta Cup Finals. 2 of the proudest franchises in the PBA today go toe-to-toe here at the Big Dome. Good afternoon, everybody. Magu Marjon here on the floor of the Araneta Coliseum. And as we mentioned, these are 2 of the proudest franchises in the PBA today. These are also 2 of the winningest. Let's take a look at the winning tradition for both squads. Alaska, in 25 years of existence in the PBA, is in their 25th finals appearance, while San Miguel, on the other hand, 30 of 35. Titles won, 18 for San Miguel, 12 for Alaska. The Aces looking to get above 500 in terms of the finals. San Miguel, on the other hand, of course, looking for championship number 19. 2 of the proudest franchises, the powerhouse San Miguel Beermen take on the amazing Alaska Aces, only here on Solar TV, coming right up.
Well, it's a good way to start game 1. Well, here's that offense of Diamond Simpson. You know the double's coming? Give credit to Arlen Santos just erasing that attempt by a 6'6" guy. Open shot, up to Veros, yes sir! And a blistering start by the San Miguel Beermen. The Aces battled from 11 points down to turn things around. Money in the bank. Game 1 goes to the Alaska Aces.
Obviously, it took a lot out of us to win tonight, and we're going to have to see if we can come back and do it again in Game 2. We're going to have to go out and try to steal that Game 2.
San Miguel will try to bounce back against the Alaska Aces.
The stage is just about set here at the Big Dome for Game 2. My name is Patricia Bermudez. He's on drawing first blood in Game 1, where the Alaska Aces were just amazing against the heavily favored San Miguel Beermen, and the final tally of that was 89 to 83. Now, though the Beermen were off to a ferocious start, it was the Alaska Aces who just shot and awed from the second quarter onwards and just built up from there. Let's look at the stats of that game. Now, the Aces shot better from the outside, though the San Miguel Beermen capitalized more in close-range shots and fast breaks with a 51 to 44 2-point field goal percentage advantage there. The Beermen may have out-rebounded the Aces by 9, but they were hurt by the 20 turnovers they had committed and the 17 points off the turnovers Alaska had converted. Now, Coach Tim Cone was actually telling me earlier that you should not judge a book by its cover, and neither should you judge a series by its first game. Now, Coach Tim Cone knows that the San Miguel Beermen will be coming out with more teeth in this series and in this particular game, and they are ready. Let's turn it over now to our powerful cast of 3.
And the team that won Game 1 will go to more of the same, and the team that lost Game 1 will make the necessary adjustments. Good afternoon, Philippines, wherever you are. This is the PBA on Solar TV. The 3 of us here will be Dr. J, Andy Howe. We've got our point guard here. A very good one, the point laureate, Ronnie Magsanok. It doesn't look like we're going to sing Christmas carols here today, but Dr. J, that Game 1 going the way of the Alaska Aces.
Well, one thing that I noticed about that game, even though San Miguel had a very good start, Alaska has proven that it's a kind of a team that doesn't give up. They do not get rattled. They continue to play their game. They have a game plan which they continue to execute. There are games in the previous series where they did not really do well. But unless San Miguel makes a lot of big adjustments, as far as the game, the half-court execution of Alaska, they're going to have a lot of problems with the Aces.
Absolutely, and the point guard battle is most interesting. That's why we brought in our very own Ronnie's the battle so far of the point guards.
Alaska's backcourt was sharp. Alaska's backcourt was efficient. Alaska's backcourt outscored the backcourt of San Miguel 10-4 in the crucial fourth quarter. And for San Miguel to be able to equalize in today's matchup, the backcourt has to come out smoking, come out playing hard against Alaska.
And look at the numbers, Dr. J, the backcourt, and this is what Ronnie was talking about.
Well, you can see there, Baguio had a 14-point game, LA Tenorio had 13 points, and some of these were crucial in the end game together. Bonasier also had a 3-point shot and a nice bank shot. Together, they already scored 32 points. Look at the other side, the backcourt, Johan Tiveros, Cabagnot, only 2 points in that ball game, a total of 19. That's a 13-point differential, and they lost the ball game much closer than that.
It was an interesting theme given up by Don Hontiveros when he said in a very, nag-hesitate pa siya, no? Nung sinabi niya, our team actually is to beat LA.
Yes.
Parang iyang pa siya.
Literally ba yun?
And beat LA, Ronnie, it's something they really have to do in this series.
LA Tenorio is fast approaching to be one of the premier guards here in the PBA, fresh of winning his duel against Jimmy Alapag in the semifinals. LA Tenorio continues to be the man of the helm, the ship of the Alaska Aces. And for Alex Cabagnot to be able to match up better against LA Tenorio, he has to play tough against LA Tenorio, defend and score and make it difficult for LA Tenorio.
Okay, Dr. J, your thoughts on this?
I was going to say, doesn't LA remind you of Ronnie? How many points does he make? Very good rebounder for a guy who's about 5'8", 5'9", 5'9 and a half. Very good assist man with 8 and a couple of steals. So maybe one day he'll also enter the Hall of Fame. But in the meantime, got to win this ball game.
More important.
Yeah. And if you look at the other side, there are other things there. We're talking about the Iligan Idol versus the Cebuche.
Tingnan natin ito. Ito, ano yun, no? Ganda ng mga names na binibigay ng ating production staff, eh. Talagang mali-mali kayo ng karir, eh. Dapat nasa showbiz kayo, eh.
Syempre naman, nasa home stretch na tayo.
Exactly.
Well, if you look at si Baguio, taga-Iligan yan.
Yes.
Ronnie, your thoughts?
Yes, of course, Don Tiveros has been a picture in the many championship runs of San Miguel, while for Cyrus Baguio, he continues to be supposedly the missing puzzle in the equation of Alaska's title campaign, with the hopes of making it again as one of the best here in the PBA.
I'm sure Baguio wants to win one with the Alaska Aces, Dr. J.
Yeah, obviously, gusto rin niya ipakita na yung pag-transfer niya from Ginebra to here meant something to him. At the same time, si Baguio kasi is a no-frills type of player, so it's very easy for him to adjust. He doesn't really have to look for the ball in order to be able to make his points.
Okay, the last topic for us here is the import battle. So much discussed about that import award being given out, and Freeman, of course, emerging as victorious there.
Yes, these two are the best in the recent years in terms of reinforcement among all the PBA squads. And Freeman is going for back-to-back titles. He has already won back-to-back Best Import Awards, while on the other side, Diamond Simpson trying to establish himself as the best here in the finals duel versus Game Freeman.
It's interesting, Dr. J, but they really don't go up against each other in terms of position, don't they?
Yeah, because medyo 5 ang laro dito ni Simpson, especially with the absence of Sanito. Freeman is more of like a 4 and a 3. Likes to roam from the outside. He has really improved his jump shot here in the Philippines, but his biggest strength is still being able to get the ball off the boards and putting it back in.
Ronnie, if you're San Miguel, what's first on your mind in game number 2 in terms of adjustments?
Well, number one, I'm sure that Coach Sean Tankinson has emphasized that it takes 4 wins to win the title. They're only down 0-1. San Miguel is supposed to be a fresher team. They have to come out tough today with one thing really in mind, and that is to shackle and make it hard for LA Tenorio to dominate the game for the Aces.
Dr. J, why did Tim Cone say we shall try to steal game number 2? Is it that hard after winning the first game, really?
Well, obviously, it's not easy to play the same kind of a game with the high emotion they have coming off a victory. They are the underdogs in terms of paper. But that may not necessarily be true. And it's been proven in the past that the underdogs always do well in the finals. Pero importante dito for me is San Miguel to win Game 2. If they do not win Game 2, for me it's going to be hard for them to get back into this championship. They would have to do the Miami Heat type of game against the Dallas Mavericks. And if they go 2-0, it's really going to be hard against a team that's very organized like Alaska.
Well, that's a new word that came out also. No, not really new, aside from positives, which seems to be the favorite term of coaches nowadays. Well organized, and Sean Tankinson pointed it out. First touch of the ball belongs to the Alaska Aces. Simpson against Peña. Bit of a zone being applied by San Miguel, and an early whistle. Basketball counts. And Peña with an early foul. Nothing new for San Miguel, actually.
You know, San Miguel really has a problem matching up against Simpson. He can play inside, he can play outside, he can post up. And he is tall and long, so it's really very difficult to put a body and just say stop him, because he also has a medium-range jump shot.
He feels the 6'6" height limit to the brim. And definitely he's very tall and lengthy. And I think Sean Daniels had first-hand experience of having that difficulty in matching up with Diamond Simpson's inside game.
Don't be surprised one day we'll have a rule about the length of the arms, actually. In the meantime, a shot from the side, and we're tied early on.
This is what we've been saying about Gabe Freeman. When he played here early last year, he had no jump shot. You wanted to give him the outside, and a great pass inside.
And this is the kind of teamwork that brought Alaska to the finals once again. Simpson throwing the team defense of San Miguel, freeing up De La Cruz underneath.
Jay Washington, and Dr. J was saying, Ronnie, that when Jay Washington plays extremely well, you see, he's the barometer player of this San Miguel team. And there were some games that Dr. J candidly pointed out, Dimon, sama na laro ni Washington didn't win here today. And that was, in fact, what happened in your series against them. And look at this, San Miguel attacking, or Alaska rather, attacking inside.
Well, 4 of their points coming from assist passes, so you like that. No, they already have 2 assists in this ballgame. That could have been a foul that could have been called against Freeman.
Kaya nga tumingin siya sa referee.
No, pinagbigyan na lang siya. A playoff type of game that there was really no harm in that slight tap of his.
De La Cruz pass on the right side does not work, and Peña grapples with the ball, taken away. We're 2 minutes into the first quarter of game number 2. Jay Wash against De La Cruz. Penetration and a foul call. Could be Baguio here.
One of the best ways to keep Tenorio and Cyrus Baguio at least busy on defense is to continue to attack them by going to the basket. You try to get them more tired early in the game to take away their effectivity during the course of the ball game. This is a squad that has played 14 consecutive games dating back to the quarterfinals. Let's see if Coach John Tankinson and company will be able to at least make use of fresher legs today.
Magumar John, it's yours.
Coach Shaw Tunkinson reminded the Beermen that it was defense that got them into the finals of this Fiesta Cup, and that allowing Alaska to shoot better than 42%, just like in Game 1, will not get them to go back-to-back. And while they need to do a better job at disrupting Alaska's flow on the one end, they also need to execute better on the offensive end. It'll be all about timing, spacing, and all the other little things to pull even and make this a virtual best-of-5.
Everything that he was talking about, Dr. J, did not happen in that last play.
Well, again, you leave an open man. They want to test him if Devance can continue to make that shot. He is not a consistent shooter from there, but he can make it. And if he does, they have a lot of problems.
0-4 in the first game from the three-point territory, Jody Vines.
This guy, De La Cruz, is the interesting intervening variable. Some people tend to neglect him. And look at him, Dr. J. And San Miguel forced to call an early timeout. And the red machine is up on its feet. We will take our first timeout. Early gap created by Alaska. And that will not work. And in the ensuing rebound play could be a Simpson foul. Patricia, what do you have?
Whoever wins Game 1, they say, has a 65% chance of winning the series. And Coach Tim Cohn admits they really dug deep to make sure they take Game 1 like they did in the quarters against Ginebra and the semis against Talking Tex. Now, they said they had all the excuses to just fold and fight another day, especially after the torture they went through. But Coach Tim shared that the Aces are much more confident now. Their playoffs hard, and they're not the same team that was beat twice by San Miguel in the elimination. Sev?
No way, no way. That's very correct, Patricia. What has Alaska done very well so far, Ronnie Musano?
Well, number one, they have moved the ball extremely well. 4 guys have managed to put in the points on the board except L.A. Tenorio.
San Miguel's attack. Up. Jared Devance dancing the tinikling on the baseline.
So Devance leads the Alaska team with 6 points, 2 3-point shots already, you know. And obviously that timeout called by Shot Tankinson is so